September the 10th, 2016. Guys, you're looking at visible satellite images from last night into this morning of the Gulf of Mexico. This is Invest 92L. Let's slow it down. You just saw it get dark last night. In the video, we saw those cloud tops from the sunset. What you're seeing now is the same group of clouds as they're trying to reform, and the sun's rising from the east on the opposite side. Notice the wind shear still pushing the cloud tops of this rotation down. But that shear is about to change, and I think the storm will be inside that changing shear. With today, notice in the center of the Gulf, below New Orleans, the wind shear is moving north and east instead of due south. That's going to be a game changer, and a couple of other models are starting to agree with what I'm predicting on this thing as far as path. Again, the strength is hard to say at this point. 90% chance now of cyclone formation. This is the large storm in the Gulf. Notice they've dropped the chance of cyclone formation from 30% to 10% on this Gulf storm. Again, I think they're underestimating it, but we'll see on that. Now, in the center, the storm that we were originally watching, that model has changed. Remember, yesterday was going to strike the northern tip of the east coast of Florida and go up and hang around and bash the Carolinas for a couple of days. That model has changed. Now it's coming over central Florida into the Gulf and pushing straight for the Louisiana and Mississippi line. I'll show you that model. But you can see the rotation there. Now, this one will develop much quicker as it gets closer to warmer water, so we're going to have to pay attention to it. Now, these two models are still agreeing with what I'm saying is going to happen with the storm, with the up curve, and they've got it going right into central Louisiana. Notice there's one model that puts it going straight down. I don't think that's going to work. But this storm, the second one in a row, guys, is now predicted to come in right there. Let's watch what's happening. Now, this is the CMC model out of Canada. The front storm they still have going straight across the Gulf into Mexico. Notice that. But the second storm, instead of coming in, hitting the northern Florida coast on the east side, on the Atlantic side, and moving up, now crosses the peninsula and gives it that perfect Katrina track. Of course, these things change day to day, but that is a pretty large change in the whole pattern. Again, look at your timestamp. The third, we'll go back. Today is the 10th. We're looking at the 11th now. Go back to the 10th here. Here's where we're at. We got the system just as a low front right off the tip of Florida. Watch as they're predicting it going straight across. The second storm coming now towards the Bahamas. It's going to go straight across again, the peninsula of Florida. That's happening on September 14th, right there. Again, timestamps in the bottom right corner of this. Coming into the 15th, it's back into the Gulf. The 16th, it's approaching the coast of Alabama, Florida, Louisiana, and Mississippi at this point. 17th, the eye is making landfall. We're going to have to watch that storm. That's the one we have been watching. But now with the Invest 92 formed overnight yesterday, and so we've got that to watch. This model is, it could be very correct as far as where the second storm's going, but they have not put much thought into the storm that's already in the Gulf. Now let's switch to Wunderground. They're showing the curve that I've been talking about right there. Wind speeds maintaining through the day today 30 knots. The direction is definitely north. Now, so my point is this. Even though the CMC model shows it going straight across, guys, that just does not appear to be almost not even a possibility, because everything's moving north once you get to the central Gulf. So I think this model is correct. I think the two models we were looking at is correct on it. And guys, don't forget, by the 14th, which today is Saturday, so you're talking about Tuesday or Wednesday, you could have a major storm coming across Florida, right on the outside of it, preparing to move across. And the storms, if they're big enough, if you remember Katrina, it came ashore on Miami, north of Miami, guys, as a tropical storm. Went into a Cat 1 before it got back over water and quickly developed up through to a Cat 5, back down to a Cat 4 before it struck land. So we're watching it, guys. I think the heat of the day and watching the visible images of this front storm will give us a much better idea of how it's going to strengthen in this warmer water and the direction. But I think it's going to curve north, so let's pay attention to that. And we're going to watch the entire Atlantic, guys. It's a heads up. Be safe.